And we're East Side Vibes. So today we're checking out an older artist again.
Mm-hmm.
This is someone who I've been like, when we first started this, I actually like thought of Juice Wrld as one of the artists like we should look into.
Okay.
Just because, one, he's very popular on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people, like, to this day, including myself, actually, like, look up people reacting to or talking about his music.
Wow.
Just because he was such an interesting and popular person, and he, like, his name is out there. Like, and I knew this is someone that you've, like, heard of.
Yeah, I heard of it in teaching middle school and stuff. They mentioned Juice Wrld as well.
Yeah.
But I had never listened to his music until today.
And
this week.
I know, like, I think you knew that, like, my brother is a very big fan of Juice Wrld, or was a very big fan of Juice Wrld.
Yes, he was.
R.I.P. We have, like, a family member who, like, there's, like, something, like, funny that came up recently, who's a very big fan of Juice Wrld as well.
Yep.
And I was a very big fan of Juice Wrld when he was alive.
Yeah.
And, like, Juice Wrld is one of those artists where the more and more, like, you listen to him and, like listen to his songs and then, like, hear about him, it's almost like there's a lore behind this person.
Yes.
Where, like, you start to get obsessed with everything, like, that was, like, surrounding him.
Yeah, because he didn't make that many albums before he passed away.
And he was, like, pretty young when he passed away.
Yeah.
But he was around for a long time. Like, he blew up when he was, like, 18.
Okay. Was he from Chicago?
Yeah, he's from Chicago.
Yeah, so he's probably doing stuff then, but he just didn't hit.
He was very big, good friends with Polo G, who's like a popular Chicago rapper.
He's in here too.
Yeah, Polo G's on this album. They have a lot of music together.
Now, I've heard of Polo G, but other than listening to him on here, I've never listened to him by himself.
And Polo G's music is probably actually, like, to this day, not that different than Juice Wrld's.
Oh, I didn't expect this at all. I thought it was going to be like more crazy rapping.
Like, when you think of Chicago rappers, you think of, like, Lil Durk or, like, King Von, Chief Keef, like, very, like, intense drill music. Cause that's
even like
mostly,
Kanye too.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kanye's his own thing.
He's his own world.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's what he's going as.
Juice Wrld and Polo G were doing something, like, completely different, even though they're from the same place.
Yeah.
And Juice Wrld also blew up with, I don't know if you, like, when you were, like, doing any research, like, this came up. He blew up with Lyrical Lemonade.
I know I've heard of Lyrical Lemonade.
That's, they're now kind of like a conglomerate in music. They started out as a blog.
Okay.
But then they started making music videos.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of their first music videos were with Juice Wrld. And Juice Wrld and the creator of Lyrical Lemonade became very good friends. Like, very, very good friends.
Oh, yeah.
And he still, like, posts about him, like, all the time. His name is Cole Bennett.
Yeah. He died very young, but you showed it to me that Eminem was very affected by him.
Yeah. That's another thing about Juice Wrld. Lots of artists, old and young, like, thought that he was going to be him and Pop Smoke, who also passed away, who I think we should actually maybe do soon.
Was he young when he passed away too?
Pop Smoke was young, even younger. He was 21. And, like, the way, I'll tell you more about him later, but these two artists were, like, thought of as, like, going to be, like, the next, like, artists of this generation.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
and
that's
unfortunately, neither of them, like, were able to do so.
Rest in peace.
But so the album we're covering is, and maybe after this we'll go back to Goodbye and Good Riddance, I believe it's called.
Okay.
That's his 2018 album.
Okay.
Though I know technically this is his third studio album, but, like, that's considered his first album.
Right.
And
he didn't put this album together though.
So, yeah, like, we're doing Legends Never Die, which came out after he passed away.
Yes.
And I'll get into, like, more opinions on, like, how I feel about the record as a whole at the end, but one thing about this album is, at least I felt that, like you just said, he did not put this together.
No.
And it sounds like it to me. It always did.
Yes.
Where it's, like, very scattered.
Oh, very.
Because he has an album that came out, like, last year, which has a couple good songs, but you can tell that's like all clips, where like they took like 1 minute clips he like did in the studio and then like got feature artists and threw them on. I like hate those types of records. It's like a total cash grab by either his estate or, which I mean I know they're trying to get make money, and the label.
Yeah.
But he didn't make that music. I do think for the most part with this album, he made these songs with these people. Or like he intended to do so. He was a part of it.
Yeah, he had been working on these songs prior to his passing.
Whereas his album from last year, I felt like, I mean, there was just like clips. These feel like full songs to me.
Yeah.
But I always, like I said, I always felt like it sounds pretty scattered. Because if you listen to his like first album, it didn't sound that way. It flowed more because he probably created that one. Yeah,
and you gotta bet that he had way more tracks than what was on here, but his family and his label put this together somehow.
And for what it's worth, like the quality of a lot of the music is very good. But like I've always thought like you get that feeling that this was not. This is just kind of all over the place sonically.
Yeah, I said for me, his rapping is really beautiful. Like he can rap but sing in there at the same time, and it's not angry rapping. It's you can hear the grief in his lyrics, but it's not like we said, angry. And instrumentally, I thought it was so relaxed. Like it wasn't, like I said, I expected something totally different from him. And
there are some harder songs on here, and he has harder songs, but a lot of the music on here is it. I think partly is because it came out in the summer, and it's almost like they took more summery songs that he had made, because these songs feel summery. A lot of them do, at least.
That's a good call.
But anyway, before I could talk about like the background for this guy all day, because it is very interesting. I pretty much
didn't do any research because I knew he'd be talking about him.
Even like before we get into it, like the way he passed away was due to an OD, and a lot of the music on here, for me, is very eerie.
Yeah.
Because it seems like he was like predicting his own fate.
Yep.
Similarly to the way Mac Miller did in his music.
Yes.
Like kind of intensely on a lot of these songs.
Yep.
And like that's why like coming back to this, it does feel a little bit weird because you want to enjoy this music, but if you listen to some of these lyrics and you know what happened,
right? Exactly.
It can make it a little difficult.
Yep.
I think there are songs on here that are kind of difficult to listen to. If you were a fan of his, and you know.
Yeah, not being a person who ever listened to his other albums or really
still like when you know
delved into like what happened to him. It didn't sound like that to me, but I knew he had overdosed. So, yeah. And he talks about that a lot.
Like a lot on the album. Well, just about overdosing a lot on the album.
Yep.
On like various things too. But anyway, I guess we'll jump into a few of our favorite songs, then go over some more thoughts at the end. Although I did give some thoughts already.
Yeah, I'm sure you have a lot more to give.
But anyway, so the first song we picked is one of your picks, and it's Titanic. So
yeah, I thought it was a little further down. So
no, it's like the third song.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a quote that came about is that the song is actually being compared to his life and the track's titular ships. So I of course had to look that up, and a titular ship is a vessel that holds a title but doesn't have the power to basically live up to that title. So in his song Titanic, I mean, we all know what happened to the Titanic, but he's saying in his song, in this one, the name Titanic doesn't really, hold the strength that it should for a title like that. He in there, again, you can hear this over and over, he is sharing feelings of anxiety and apprehension about his past, as present, and his future. Like you can really hear that all coming out. And some lyrics I have that go with that are abandon all ships, it's about to go down, no Titanic. I could actually rap it. There's a lot going on in my head right now. Good heart, good soul, both been in bad hands, both hands in the air as I scream our prayers. My demons show their face in the midnight air. So he's just talking about his demons, you know, and how they're there all the time, and it's really sad. But I liked it. It's I don't know, instrumentally it's different, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I feel like this one's like softer than a lot of
yes.
some of the other songs.
Yeah. So that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, so Titanic is actually a song I never really came back to.
Mm-hmm.
And like listening to this again, it's not one of the ones that like stands out for me.
No, I downloaded it already.
but like one thing about this album that like before I even talk anymore that I think is interesting is I feel like lots of people have different favorites on this.
Oh, I bet.
It's almost like, because it is so like varied, it's almost like whatever is like your thing, those are the ones you gravitate towards.
Was it. Yep.
But there's a lot of different like things, you know,
right.
on this album. So
right.
like there can be something for lots of different people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's why he was so popular with like lots of different like types of people.
Yeah.
But I guess next we'll dive into one of mine. I mean, I could probably talk about like several songs on this.
Oh, I could too, actually. Like the last album, it was difficult picking songs off this one.
But I'll stick to 3 that I know I come back to a lot. My first one is Blood on My Jeans.
Ooh.
And I know that's one of my brother's favorite songs too.
Okay.
Like he loves that one.
Okay.
But Blood on My Jeans, lyrically, isn't as... so Blood on My Jeans, lyrically, isn't as dark, I would say, as a lot of the other music.
Though the title hints that it could be.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
The title could either be hinting to him shooting someone.
Oh, that's true.
Or him, like, self-harming.
Yes.
And I think it kind of alludes to both, actually. Because, like, one thing about people know about Juice Wrld, too, is, like, he was, like, in the streets and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so,
he really grew up in the streets.
And
Polo G as well.
Yeah, Polo G, definitely.
Yeah.
And he raps about it a lot, too. And Blood on My Jeans is one of those ones that... It's a guitar-driven song. One of like the many like guitar-driven songs on this album.
Correct.
And I really like his vocals on this one. I think this is like a song where he really like flexes how good of a singer he was.
Yes, yeah.
Because the flow on this song isn't as much rap as some of like the other songs.
Right, and that's what I said in the beginning. I like his softer rapping, but there was singing sometimes within the rapping, but then this was a singing song. He had a great singing voice.
Yeah, he had an excellent singing voice.
Right.
And I was showing my mom some freestyles of his last week.
Oh!
Like when he did that, he sounds like a completely different artist.
Completely different artist.
Yeah.
But it was like a half hour of freestyling to different music, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Pretty incredible.
It's great. But I wish they would make an album about those.
But then when you listen to like this music, like it sounds you're like, how is this the same person?
Yeah.
That's how you know how talented he was.
Oh, it is. You've got to listen to his freestyling if you haven't.
But yeah, so that's Blood on My Jeans. The next song we picked is The Other Side, as you said, with Marshmallow, the Kid Leroy, and Polo G. This is the song that has Polo G on it.
Yep.
And yeah, I guess I'll let you dive into this one.
Okay. So, first of all, it's driven by Marshmallow's guitar-driven production.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't, on another song we're going to talk about, you brought it up, I did not know that, like, Marshmallow played the guitar.
Yeah, so before this album came out, at least for me, and I'm, like, pretty into electronic music as well.
Right.
I had never heard, and Marshmallow was very popular, I'd never heard him make music like this.
No, all the electro stuff is what I know.
Like, he was known for, like, very, like, high-pitched, like, almost like pop trap music.
Definitely.
And this was, at least for me, the first time I ever heard him produce stuff.
Right.
Like this. And there's a couple songs, like you said, on this album who have this similar production. And now, a lot of the music he comes out with more now is like kind of like tougher sounding, at least for me.
Oh, Marshmallow?
Yeah, so it's almost like this like formed a pivot for him.
Could be. He doesn't sing, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Or anything.
Yeah.
All right. He's just the
a producer.
Yeah. Okay. So, it's also a route for Juice himself. Kid Leroy was his protege, which I didn't know.
Yeah, I did. Kid Leroy I actually did know that like Kid Leroy was like on tour with him and stuff.
Yep,
and
I didn't know that.
I think that he probably tries to sound like Juice Wrld. If you like listen to his music now,
yeah, it comes up. And then obviously Polo G was in there as well, who you said were friends. So
so this song like has like people that he was
a lot of people
probably these might have been two of like the people he was closest with,
probably
like in the industry.
Probably, I agree. So it delves into the self-doubt of balancing love in his career and aspirations. So it's kind of like, I want this, but I really want to go here as well.
Or it's like when you get the fame, it's not as like glamorous or good or whatever as you thought it was.
We talked about that on another album, because then you have the money for drugs and all that kind of stuff, and
especially like someone who was already like struggling with that.
Exactly,
it makes it worse.
It does. It did. Well, it did, obviously. As is often noted in his songs, there is a theme of trauma and memories connected to his own experiences in life, like love, death, grief, and all that. So Polo G brought his own like underworld Chicago part into it, where he actually talks about Chicago in it. And I don't know how from the streets Juice Wrld was, but Polo G is like big time.
He was like pretty like well known for that stuff.
Yeah. So in the lyrics I got from him is he obviously was in a gang.
Yeah.
Because he said, I lost gang members. I can't act cool. I got going scriptures in my tattoos. I was running from the police in my trap shoes. I'm from Chicago. She said she liked my accent. I'm from Chicago, where Glocks is what we react with.
Yeah.
So
That's like like diving into like that's an interesting thing that I've noticed with a lot of like younger, what I've talked about with people at my work, and it's sad, like younger people in this generation don't fight.
No, they just kill.
They react with guns. And like he like talks about that, like there's people who I've talked to have like said that they would rather just pull it out instead of like a physical
fight.
Altercation.
Yeah. Which I think, not that I want people to fight, but that one really shows who's more powerful when you have a fight, whereas this one...
Or not. I don't know. That's the thing, because if you, like, have, like, the mentality that you can do that...
Right.
You know, like, maybe you are the powerful one.
Right.
But, yeah, that's just, like, an interesting thing that...
For that, yeah, definitely. So Kid Leroy brings his viewpoint into these feelings as well.
Like... One reason why I've always been like not as like big on this song, even though it is very popular with the other side, is because of that. Yeah. I don't like mind Kid Leroy. Like I think he's fine, and like I said, I actually think he sounds like Juice Wrld.
Yep.
But like when you bring him onto a song where two artists are talking about a topic that they both know about, and like he obviously does not know about it.
No, so I looked it up. He actually went to a prep school in Australia.
Yeah,
I mean, like he grew up in a good lifestyle.
Yeah, these guys did not.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So he's trying. He's not like being like the guy who did Ice Baby. Not like that. He's not trying to be
I don't think he's like, I don't think he does it disrespectfully.
No, not at all.
I just don't know how well, like
he can speak to this.
He could have other songs with Juice Wrld where they're talking about things that they may relate on.
Yeah. This one,
I don't think he relates.
Especially when you have Polo G in it, too.
That's the thing, especially when you have Polo G.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like I said, he was from a prep school. He had a really good life. But his lyrics, again, when I heard the lyrics, I'm like, meh, you know.
Yeah, it's like he didn't write them.
No. So it's, everybody that
Which I don't know if he writes his own music.
That's true. He said maybe one of the other ones did, but just made it softer because it's him. So he's like, everybody that I'm with got nothing to lose. Saw my uncle in the grave, that brought tears to my eyes. Okay, so he's bringing grief in. But I ain't gonna lie, I done been through this shit too many times. And I'm thinking, okay, what shit have you been through? You know, I mean, we don't know. We don't know. Yeah, but I'm kind of like...
Yeah, I don't know, like, as far as his mental health or, like, what he's done. I have no idea. I'm not judging him on that.
I'm not either. But he's like, my heart's still trying to recover from pain all my life. So, again, I don't know what his life was growing up, but when you look up Kid Laroi, it's very positive.
In my opinion, I think his verse takes more of, like, maybe, like, a... diving into like mental health, like whatever,
that
like
could be that,
whatever his mental health is.
Yeah, that could definitely.
Like that's how I actually always took it, that he's talking about that.
I didn't think about that.
Which is fine, but that's not what the other two are talking about.
No, you can't put it in the other two.
And there are songs on here, like actually one of my songs that he does talk about that. So like you could have like put him on one of those songs and brought in maybe another like Chicago rapper who's similar to this.
With this, definitely. I like this song more for Juice Wrld.
The instrumental is very good.
Oh, really good instrumental. Yeah. But I like the song more for, like, I was interested when I saw who the three were. Yeah. But I really like Juice Wrld's and Polo G's portion of it, and then I said, then when I saw Kid Laroi and I looked him up, I was kind of like,
Yeah.
So that's mine.
Yeah, that's Hate the Other Side. The next one we picked is another one of my mom's picks. This is arguably or debatably the most popular song on the album, and I probably would have picked it too. It's Come and Go, also with Marshmello.
Correct. And Marshmello is what really I think Marshmello makes this song.
The production of the songs, this probably has the best production on the album.
Exactly. So his beats really put a perspective to the song's meaning through the whole track, because it's like slower and then all of a sudden it's like, you know, the guitar really goes not super fast, but it like brings it, I don't want to say pop, but it kind of brings it into a realm of like just
well, it's like a lot of the song has like almost like a slower rock feeling, and then it gets like hype. Like I can imagine this would be like I mean, I've seen Marshmello in concert and he does it, but like I'm sure it'll be really cool to see Juice Wrld perform this.
Oh yes,
because of like the way like it brings up. I bet like a mosh pit would start.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So it talks about the relationship that he has filled with ups and downs based on drug addiction. So it's kind of like, we've talked about this theme in the past, that you love someone and you don't want them to leave, and you know you're not good enough for them, but you want them to stay. And that's how he's at, and he's talking about how drug addiction is basically what's causing this between the two of them, because whoever the partner is on drugs as well. Yeah. So it's not just him.
So there's another song on here that I actually thought you were going to pick that covers this exact same topic, and that's Smile.
Yes, that was, I had to go back and forth between this and Smile.
That's Smile, and it has The Weeknd, whose music also like talks a lot about that topic, like to this day.
It did. Like, Smile I was coming back and forth between the two of them.
The Weeknd also makes a lot of music about how his drug use is making his relationships like not work.
And what we said, how he was like nasty to women too. Yeah. But I don't know if he is anymore. That's what in a previous album about him we talked about that. But yeah, that was a really good song too. But I'm like, I love The Weeknd so much that I was like, I want to go with something else that doesn't have The Weeknd in it, because I'm such a Weeknd fan. Yeah,
and his contribution is great.
It is very good. So, like I said, it appears that he wants to maintain the relationship, even though he knows that it's not good to maintain it. And he says, "We take drugs, then you hold me close. Sometimes then I tell you how you make me whole. Sometimes I feel like you're alone. Then you tell me that I should have stayed in the room." So I'm assuming just got out of here. I don't want to ruin this one. This type of love don't always come and go. So it must have been a very, very passionate love, whoever it was. But he knew that the drug addiction was just not making this relationship good.
Yeah. And another artist who Juice Wrld is compared to, by the way, who has, like, sonically, which I think we'll probably dive into at some point, who also makes music with a very similar theme, is Lil Peep.
Oh, I've heard about that.
That's another person where I think I'll show you him pretty soon, too. That's another person where people thought he was going to be, like, one of the top ones, and he was compared to Juice Wrld.
He passed away, too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
The same way, by the way. And made music about a very similar topic. So
it's just so sad. Like we were saying, fame can bring many things to you, but it seems like, unfortunately, it brings a lot of drugs too.
Yeah.
And obviously, they grew up on the streets. He and Polo G. So
and Lil Peep, by the way.
So it's sad.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just jump into my next song. That one took a little while. So my next pick is the one that I actually think the Kid Laroi might fit better on.
Okay.
Ironically.
Okay.
Even though I love this song. It's Wishing Well.
Yes, another good one.
And Wishing Well is, for me, it may be the actual saddest song on the whole album. Because this is a song where it feels like he is predicting his own death throughout a lot of the song.
Yep.
So, like, this is one when, like, someone says they're listening to this, like, you almost want to, like, check in on them. Because...
Yeah.
Because, like, there's, like, a line where he basically says, like, I lie that I'm okay, like, just, like, to get people to stop,
leave
like,
me
asking.
Alone.
Yeah. And, it's about how he's, like, using, like, these drugs to, like, feel better.
Okay.
And he's, like, using them, like, a wishing well.
Yep.
Like, he thinks that it'll just, like, make everything go away at some point.
Yeah.
Sonically, this song is a lot softer and, like, more downtrodden than a lot of the record.
Yes, definitely.
It's, like, it's Blood on My Jeans to me has, like, a warmer, more, like, summery feeling. This song feels cold.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a positive title compared to Blood on My Jeans. But this is like the...
Like, sonically to me, this is very cold.
Yeah, this is like very cold and sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tone of the song, like, 100% matches the lyrics.
Yeah.
And Wishing Well is also one that is probably one of the most popular songs on this album, I would say.
And Kid Laroi's on this one, too.
No,
one?
I'm saying he's not. I think... No, what I was saying is I think they should have took Kid Laroi off that one
and put him on this one. Okay.
Because if he's making, like, music about mental health, it would have fit a lot more into this song.
Yep.
That's what this song is about.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's just my opinion. Then our last pick is my last pick. This is another one that I definitely thought you were going to pick. It's Man of the Year.
Yep. I was struggling with finding three
like,
because there were so
many
that I liked.
Yeah, and I actually probably wouldn't have picked this, and I would have picked one of a couple others that I'll shout out. But I did because I'm like, how can we not talk about Man of the Year? Because this is, besides Come and Go, this one that might actually be the most popular.
Yes.
And, like, for good reason. Like, this is, like, pretty much almost like a punk rock song. Like, the flow, like, he doesn't rap on it. He sings, like a rock singer.
Yeah.
And, the instrumental, like, feels, like, almost, like, inspired by maybe, like, Blink-182.
That's what I thought, too.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought.
And I could, like, see him, like, because we haven't talked about it, but he was, like, known as a skateboarder, too.
Oh.
So he probably, like, grew up, like, around people listening to Blink-182, which is why he would have been exposed to that sound.
Right, because actually when I was looking up, like, this one, it kept coming back up to Blink-182.
Yeah.
And, like, being the musically, sonically, or stuff like that.
Although I did think some of their stuff from last year was pretty good. Like, Blink was one of, like, my favorite artists when I was, like, a kid. Like, I was, like, more into, like, hip-hop, but I really liked that band.
Yeah. Are they...
Also because I, like, was into, like, skateboarding, too.
One of them's not, like, his health is not good, isn't that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But are they still producing music? I don't know.
Yeah, they're back together now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think a Man of the Year, like... it's one of the it's the last like actual song.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think it actually has like the most like positive sentiment on the whole record.
Man of the Year.
It's like him like kind of like gassing himself and hyping himself up, like trying to like push away everything that like he said on the rest of the album.
Yeah.
And say like he realizes that he is like worth it and good. And I
Right.
wish that like he would have actually believed that,
Yeah.
because it seemingly he did not.
Yeah.
But
it was a good song to end with.
yeah, it's a great song to close it out with,
Mhm.
definitely. But yeah, before we talk about like our overall thoughts, a couple other songs I wanted to like kind of shout out that I also really like are Conversations.
Yes.
And Righteous.
Ooh.
Righteous is also a favorite of mine.
Okay.
Righteous sonically is pretty similar to Wishing Well.
Okay.
So
My shout out would have been Smile.
and
Definitely.
Smile, or even Tell Me You Love Me with Trippie Redd. That one's
Yes,
good too.
yes.
Which Trippie Redd is another artist who's like kind of like compared, makes like a similar.
Mhm.
There were like a bunch of artists who came up around the same time who are making this kind of music.
So one of the reasons I didn't choose Smile is because I wanted to do something different than what I knew you thought I would do. So
Yeah.
like I mean,
I just assumed you would do Smile.
Exactly, but you know, I liked these other songs as well,
Yeah.
and I'm like, it's got a lot of great songs on it. Sadly, you know, he can't enjoy that.
So, as far as like my overall like thoughts on this, I guess I'll jump in first.
You go.
Like one thing, like I'm just like looking at the track list. Another one I think is good is Screw Juice. That's
Okay.
a good song too. But we talked about like, or we've brought up like almost every song on this album. Like very
Mhm.
like we've mentioned at least like 12, and there's
Mhm.
like a couple interludes and
Yeah, the interludes are really interesting too.
so
There's a lot of tracks, but it's a short album.
yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
his
all the
songs
songs are.
But I almost
Relatively
felt like
short.
when I was listening to them that they were longer than they were,
It
and it
does
was
feel
probably
that way.
the meaning behind them really
Yeah.
draws you in.
I would agree with that. But yeah, so like I would say that kind of proves that like the quality of this music is like very, very, very good. Almost
Mhm.
like I said, we talked about almost every single song.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always thought it didn't like flow super
No.
well. It almost like for me, I would rather just listen to all these songs in my own playlist in my own order,
Right.
like at my own whim.
Yeah.
Like as singles in my mind as a way almost.
Right. I wonder if, because I'm not the family but the label. I
I
wonder
don't know
if
like who did this.
I wonder if he tried to put a theme behind it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like we said, Man of the Year, great way to close out the album, but I agree. It's just kind of all over.
The place.
Yeah.
And for me, like when you're listening to the whole thing, I'm not gonna say it brings it down because I do like a lot all of these songs,
Mhm.
but it does feel a little like weird.
Very hodgepodge.
Yeah, very
Mhm.
hodgepodge.
Especially when you know it was posthumously and
Well, especially
yeah.
I'm saying when you know that, because like if it wasn't, like maybe you could think, oh, there's like some like reason why he did this, but
Mhm.
like he didn't do
No,
this.
he didn't
That's
do it.
the thing.
Yeah, they just took tracks that he was
Well, like
working on.
when we've done these a couple of these Mac Miller ones, you know that he, at the very least, you know he organized all that. That's why it's put out that way.
You're right.
And that is not the case with this.
No, because like I said, he was working on a completely different album
Yeah.
before he passed away, and then they
And a
just
lot of
put it
these
together.
songs, a lot of these songs may have been on there,
I agree.
maybe in a different order.
I agree.
So, but anyway, regardless, I really like, I've been talking about how much I liked Juice Wrld. I really like the quality of this music on Legends Never Die.
That's a good way of saying it. The quality of the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
You know, pleasantly.
This is a person I knew that, like, you would like them because
Yeah.
of, like, how unique they are.
Right. I mean, it's so sad that he died so young. I think it was at 23.
I don't think he was even close to his potential.
Oh, no.
Like,
But I mean,
nowhere near it.
he is so good here that
Yeah.
you knew he had a future.
Yeah.
You just knew, even Mac Miller. You knew he was going to just
Yeah.
boom,
But
go
Mac
crazy.
Miller was, like, 27, 28
Yeah,
when he died.
yeah.
He was even younger.
Right. And Mac had already done, like, I guess,
Been
popular
around for,
things.
like,
yeah, people knew who he
A
was.
very long time,
Right.
yeah.
But again, this guy, you don't know. You know something would have hit with him.
Yeah.
And if you have not watched his freestyling rap,
yeah.
I mean, that's where his life was going. It's just so powerful.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's why, like, when you like start to get into Juice Wrld, it's like it's insane when you listen to that. When you listen to this, I could show you his other album, which like doesn't sound that much like this.
Yeah, I believe it.
Doesn't have like really guitar stuff on it.
And that's what I thought he was going to be like. Yeah, and this is like, wow.
It's all over. His most popular song, I'm sure you've heard it. It's that one that, it's called Lucid Dreams.
Yep.
Yeah, it's that Police song.
Yes, when I was looking up videos or whatever, obviously no videos were made for this one, but Lucid Dreams kept popping up all over the place.
That's the one where like Police tried like suing them for the sample, which like screw Police for that.
Yeah.
Sting. But anyway, yeah, that's how we feel about Juice WRLD's Legends Never Die. I'm glad you liked this one because, like I said, this is someone who my brother and I are a very big fan of.
Correct. And our cousin.
Yeah, and our cousin apparently.
Or your cousin, I should say.
But yeah, so I'm Joe.
I'm Joe's mom.
And we're Eastside Vibes. Thanks for watching.
Bye.